Yeah, hi, hello, and welcome everyone. This is Partvi Jain from InnovatioCuris Foundation of Healthcare and Excellence. I hope you are having a good day so far. Today, we have a very interesting topic of the webinar that would show the impact of convergence of AI, biotech, and medtech on the nutraceutical industry. Before we get started with the topic, I would like to take a moment to talk about our own organization, ICFHE. It's a not-for-profit organization with a motto of bringing down the healthcare delivery cost and improving the quality of care. The primary idea of the webinar is that it enables easy knowledge sharing and brainstorming across industries and demographics. Just a housekeeping announcement for all the listeners that you can keep writing your questions on the right side window of the questions tab. And whenever the question answer round starts, we can take your questions and the moderator and the speaker can answer that after the webinar presentations are over. So now to give you a brief outline of the webinar, our moderator Mr. Narayanan Suresh and Mr. Srinivas Rao are joining us from Association of Biotechnology-led Enterprises, which is ABLE, a not-for-profit pan-India forum that represents Indian biotechnology sector. Welcome both of you, sir. Uh, Mr. Narayan Suresh is formerly the ABLE CEO, and the association was founded in 2003 to represent the interest of the fast-growing biotechnology industry. Mr. Suresh has been tracking the biotech industry for several years and has worked very closely with the leaders in various state governments, with DBT, BIRAC, and other ministries and organizations, highlighting the achievement, needs, and opportunities of the sector. We also have Mr. Srinivas Rao, who is the consulting editor for ABLE at the moment. He was also a journalist covering the new economies and emerging technology sector. He has also been involved in bringing our reports like Indian Biotech Handbook, Bioeconomy Report, Biotech Startup Landscape, etc. I welcome Mr. Amit Srivastava as well, who is the speaker for our webinar. And he is the CEO of Biovalley Incubation Council as the director and CEO. It's a incubation council under the Andhra MedTech zone, which is AMTZ. Welcome on board, all of you, and I'll hand over this to our moderators to moderate the session for today.
Hello. But I have along with me Suresh, and what he will do is he will to the India's biotech landscape system.
Thank you so much, sir, for the presentation. May I take this opportunity to introduce our speaker for the day, which is Mr. Amit Srivastava. Mr. Amit took on Biovalley Incubation Council as the director and the CEO in his pursuit to develop smart technologies through research team and also support successful startups in nutraceuticals to build capacity of country to deliver high-tech clinical nutrition companies and generate wealth through high-value IPRs and employment in this industry. He is one of the leaders from nutraceuticals industry with extensive experience in nutraceuticals and medical foods in domestic and international markets. I welcome you, Mr. Amit Srivastava. Kindly go forward with your presentation, sir.
Sure. Thank you very much, and good evening to all. Thanks for a nice introduction. So I'll get on to the topic, the impact on nutraceuticals through convergence of biotech, artificial intelligence, and medical devices. Uh, you know, uh, till recent times, there are industries evolving, trying to serve patients or consumers. So, on one side you have nutraceuticals, and you've got drugs, pharmaceuticals, biotech, MedTech. All of them are trying to serve only one common target, which is, of course, a patient or a consumer. What has not happened for most of the time is that the learnings and the strength of each faculties being leveraged together to achieve optimal outcome. Thanks to the information sharing that's happening now, so there's amazing convergence opportunity that is emerging into the market, and that makes all the industry is very interesting. Whether you talk of pharmaceuticals, I'll stick to nutraceuticals. So nutraceutical is one industry which is actually uh, engaging a lot of expertise from the industries like artificial intelligence or medtech or even biotech, and that's what I'm going to take you through the slides. Uh, just quick info, Nutrify India, this is a platform that I created, and there are now 200 industry partners. And when I say industry partners, it's got professionals from devices design to biotech professionals to nutrition industry to venture capitalists, the government commercial departments, regulators, all here, and most of the subjects being discussed here are either on convergence or on the new technologies. It has helped a lot, mostly for the startup companies, because they have been able to showcase their technologies and the product innovation in this platform, and actually has led to 3 commercialization in last 1 month. So that's what it is. And if in case anyone is interested, can WhatsApp at the number which is mentioned here, and then I proceed to the topic. When it comes to drugs, we in some time of a life would have consumed any kind of drug, could be antibiotics or or any kind of other drugs that your doctor would have prescribed. The question is, when it comes to betting on whether the medicine will give me results or not, do you bet on the medicine or on the doctor? You have no idea actually what kind of stuff you're consuming. They're just multicolored pills, and you have no idea what it would do, when would it do, and hence you bet a lot onto your doctor. But when it comes to nutrition, the entire emotional bet is on yourself, because and all of a sudden it becomes too emotional, because nutrition supplements, dietary supplements, or medical nutrition, it's very personal, engaging. It has aspiration. It has a feeling of love. So entire spectrum of emotions start to play when it comes to nutrition. You don't like the taste, or you don't like the format, or you consume it. I'm going to take it for 90 days because I believe that I may have certain outcome, and you are in charge of it. And it is this reason of close interaction with a product that you feel will make you healthy is making this industry grow out of proportion. In just next 3 years, this industry is going to take over pharmaceutical industry, which is right now the largest in the world. It is the nutraceutical, which it's just a matter of 3 years, and the growth rate and the volume it's standing at, it is soon going to be taking over the pharmaceutical industry. I think by now, most of the people, thanks to information exchange, social media, we all know our health is what we eat. There's nothing great that I can talk about on this. And we all want to be healthy, and we do anything and everything, right from the no-brainer being going to gym or yoga, or actually trying to indulge in dietary supplements because we get carried away with what's there on, accessible on Dr. Google. Some slightly more educated or more reading people indulge into the medical foods. So those foods are basically supposed to be giving you health, measured health outcome over a period of time. So there are categories like dietary supplements to medical foods to actually even clinical foods. But what we do not know is this the right supplement for you, and how actually you're supposed to have it, or when to eat it. You have no clue that is your body even going to digest that, or even if you're able to digest it, would that be bioavailable? And if it's not bioavailable, you're just spending money on something that's not going to give you any result. Let's have a quick picture of what's happening in India in the population. It is slightly alarming because 690 million people in India are calorific sufficient but malnourished. And trust me, I would not be surprised most of them are right now in this conference too, listening. Then there are about 450 million people who are just thoroughly malnourished and an under calorie and so on. But then when you add these two population, what it shows is that absolute majority of Indians are malnourished. Now let's put this information into an application. Our country, as per the media release, is targeting to be a US $10 trillion economy by 2030. And that means we are talking of quadrupling our economy. Now, if we expect us to be, quadrupling the economy, who's going to do it? It is the people of India. They're going to be working, they're going to take up that stress and deliver it. Now, with this kind of malnourishment, and exposing this audience, this population to the work stress, trust me, we may achieve the targets for sure, but then there would be an enormous medical expense shooting up because malnourishment with stress will lead to all kind of lifestyle diseases, right, from diabetes, blood pressure, cancer, and the whole menu card. Now, with all this, of course, thanks to the information age and information access and Dr. Google all around, people have resorted to nutraceuticals because they believe that they would be able to not only, take care of the health, but make them more productive, more active, and the whole more. That is leading to a market base of about $8 billion. So currently India's $8 billion market, growing at 10% per annum. Now, this is a very small number because when you look at the global international nutraceutical market, one reason could be that because the regulatory recently has become more stringent, has given shape and structure to the industry. That's one. And second is, of course, thanks to the economic growth, people have dispensable income, which they want to put onto their quality of health. That is leading to growth and has created this category. And thanks to the internet and mobile phones, it's helping people to access information, making them learn it, and they're indulging in, nutraceuticals. What is very interesting is both, in fact, all the medical foods which is a highly specialized category. The nutritional supplements, the fortified foods and beverages, all are actually growing at a substantial rate in India, which makes India the most attractive market in the world. While it is the smallest market in the world, but then of course the potential of growth and the potential the size is huge, and that makes India pretty attractive. Now, what are the challenges? To the industry, these are the most common challenges. What format? Trust me, you and I we're not born consuming tablets and capsules. We, for all our lives, have consumed food, water, drinks, beverages. So format is very important. Then bioavailability, that just you cannot pick up anything off the shelf and expect result. Probably bioavailability could not be there and hence no result. Compliance, nutraceuticals are not drugs and they don't give you result overnight. It may take minimum 22 days to a month for anything to happen, and then you're supposed to sustain it for at least for 90 days. People of today are into instant gratification world. Have medicine, be good, feel good next day, same time, 2 days, and then here we're talking of 90 days. So compliance becomes a challenge, because if you're consuming tablets, capsules, you may not remember to have it every day. It's not a drug, and you're not into a serious medical problem that you need it, or else you're going to have problem. Discipline, very, very people oriented. There's nothing much you could do. The time, people have no idea how long do you need to continue taking it. And with all that, then at the back end for the industry, the challenge is sustainability, because if you look at the ingredient of nutraceuticals, they come from plant source or animal source, and it's a small proportion that comes as a synthetic. Now, as the industry grows, the dependency of the medicinal plants will go up, or animals will go up, and that becomes a question mark. Will the industry be able to sustain it as the market grows? Will it be able to handle the scalability? So these are the question marks that needs to be addressed, and there are various ways people are doing this. We will cover up some of the ways that I know of. Currently, chemistry has been able to address format. So you would find some of the formats where ingredients have been put into bars or into food format. And today, in one of the company reached out to us, they wanted to create pudding, but for diabetes, a diabetic patient, to maintain HbA1c. So this is all chemistry. Bioavailability is all about chemistry, biochemistry. But when it comes to compliance, time period, discipline, chemistry may not be able to do something in this, and that's where we got to look out. So I got inspired first. I didn't have this imagination before, but then I got inspired by BioZoom, which is a German company, which actually came up with a 3D printer for foods for geriatrics. The problem with geriatric community is that they are not able to swallow food, and because they're not able to swallow food, they eventually land up with consuming lesser quantity of food, different lesser quantity of food, leading to malnourishment. Now, this 3D printer actually prints the food in the format you would love to see. So you want cutlets or burgers, whatever. So it prints a burger, but then it uses an ingredient where in a way that a consumer or a patient would see a burger. Let's take example burger. Would see a burger and would smell like that, look like burger, but when you actually put it into mouth to chew it, it actually starts melting into a paste and gel, which can be swallowed. And the ingredients used are the nutrients required to address the need of an old consumer. Now, this is very interesting because now you can enjoy what you want to eat, because seeing is so food is all about experience, how it looks, how it tastes. Now, because the geriatrics cannot swallow it, or maybe teeth problem, this machine serves the purpose. It gives you all the nutrition. It makes this community healthy, and yet they enjoy eating because they get what they actually would want to eat. So this actually fired imagination. And then of late, for last 3 to 4 years, I have seen amazing conversions happening, where devices are taking nutrition to you when you want it and how much you want it. So you don't really have to think much about how to take it, when to take it, is it the right quantity. That's not your job. So technologies have come forward offering the entire intelligence so that you just continue doing whatever you're doing throughout the day, and the machine or the technology will take care of you. So let's go to the first case. Uh, and before I, of course, get on to the case, of course, so in the list that I said, the challenges the nutraceutical industry has, one is format and bioavailability, which is all chemistry. The rest requires technology, and technology that can nudge you. So one of the studies that was done at NCED actually showed that there's a 94% compliance amongst the consumers if they get nudged on to consume or do a practice. So that's an interesting lead, and from that lead, let's get into a case study. Case one. This is an American company, Life Fuels, and as you can see, it's a smart bottle. I would not call it smart bottle, but it's pretty cool bottle which you can carry along in your gym or to your office and so on. What it does is it's got electrolytes, vitamins, and trace elements. So 3 cartridges that just fit into the machine. And using an app, you can actually plan your day because you know when you're going to go to gym, when you're going to go to office, when do you have lunch, you know your day-to-day routine. All you need to do is just feed in the information on the app, and then the app programs when the ingredients are needed. So like if you're going to gym, you need electrolytes. And at the end of the day, you might need trace elements or whatever. Thing is that you don't have to carry capsules. You don't have to worry about what to consume when, because all you want to do is already recorded in your app and you're good to go. You can just carry the bottle, keep filling water when you want it, and rest of the work is done by the technology and the device. The challenge here is that it's good if you're very health conscious, but for commoners like us, it may become a challenge because it's not helping you to decide. It's in fact asking you to decide for yourself. And if you're not too much knowledgeable about the subject, you could end up doing something wrong, and electrolytes on the wrong side could be harmful for your health. It may not. So this bottle, what I've seen is that it does not even tell how much to take and when to take and so on. So it expects you to give instructions. So this is the challenge, but then it still is an amazing option because vitamin, mineral supplements, trust me, if you were to consume capsule tablets, you would keep skipping most of the days because it's not a habit. But carrying a bottle, and you'll find most of the people carrying shakers to gym, this is much better because not only you can take it to gym, but you can take it to your office, workplace, and so on. It looks nice. Let's go to the another innovation that actually got launched in 2018, and it's a desktop version, but pretty smart, pretty interesting. Go Mix Fit. And what is interesting is that it uses multiple data and it uses artificial intelligence. So it doesn't want you to do anything. It decides what your body needs, and you just need to keep drinking water. That's it. And what it does is, so it captures data from, so when you buy this equipment, you are of course supposed to get your nutrigenomics test done. And then of course, since there's AI, it starts capturing the food that you eat. So you need to keep taking photographs of what you're eating. And it starts making interpretation based on nutrigenomics data as well as the food that you are consuming, and starts interpreting during the day what are the potential ingredients, elements, vitamins, or actually ingredients that may go short in your body. So it uses AI to make predictions, and they claim that it's 90% correct, so which is actually not bad. And you can consume, all you have to do is just plug in the glass and it will fill up the water, and as it fills the water it infuses. So it's got multiple cartridges inside it, and with various key elements, and they just get infused into the water along with flavor, and you really don't have to do anything else. All you need to do is keep taking photographs of what you're eating. That's the only work you're expected to do. And it says that while you're drinking water, drink from this machine, because this machine knows too much about your body, and it'll keep filling your body with ingredients at the right time when it knows that you're going down on that. So pretty smart. What we did is we picked up learnings from these two, and we started, imagining that while this is good, the challenge here is it's not mobile. You cannot carry this along all over the place, and compliance could be an issue because you have it in house and you don't want, and then how are you going to have it in office? And if you have it in office, how are you going to do? Or you buy 3 4 and put it in all the places that you go. What I and the team that we start working on, we're looking at how can we develop technology of convergence that makes consumers use it any time of day and night. And that's when we started working on this technology, and this is a product being developed in India in the prototype format right now. But this is a smart bottle. It's a 300 ml bottle, of which 50 ml part is blocked out. And so you have 250 ml available. The good thing is it's a bottle, just a small 300 ml bottle, and it can fit into your laptop bag, purse, and of course, you can carry it anywhere around. The uniqueness here is that when you hold this bottle, so it's a metallic bottle and it's got a lot of sensors all around it. So when you hold the bottle to drink water, it reads your pulse reading, and it also reads your VPK signals. So VPK signal is mostly the Ayurveda terminology of Vata, Pitta, Kapha signals. And it uses this algorithm to actually make prediction of what is your metabolic rate now, and based on so it's again uses AI, so it may take about 2 weeks before it starts really working like an intelligent bottle. But then as you keep holding it during various time of the day to drink water through this bottle, it starts developing data and predicting during the what part of the day you would feel sluggish, or your metabolic rate will go down, your performance activity during the day may go down. And based on that interpretation, it starts releasing phytoactives into the water in multiple doses, so that if it makes an interpretation that 3 p.m. you're going to go slow, your productivity will come down, your metabolic rates will come down, and it makes a prediction that it knows that you will at least consume water 2 times, it will start releasing doses split into 2 times, so that by the time 3 p.m. comes, the bioavailability of that active ingredient would be good enough in the bloodstream to keep your metabolic rate pretty active. Okay, so you feel as active throughout the day, not realizing that the bottle made interpretation took a decision and actually chose ingredients to keep you active throughout the day, while all you have to do is keep drinking water. And this bottle is slightly more intelligent because it also nudges you. So if you forgot to drink water, because we don't know whether we are optimally hydrated or not, so this bottle starts vibrating, and it knows that at this time gap, if you have not consumed water, it'll start vibrating, nudging you to, yes, it reminds you got to have water, so you consume water. To make it more Indian savvy, and for that matter it will work for anyone, is this bottle can actually heat up the liquid inside up to 70 degrees and cool up to 20 degrees. We haven't broken the technology to, or crack the code to bring it below 20, but then up to 20 it can be cool. So you can heat up to 70, cool it up to 20 degrees, and of course The 50 ml area, which is logged out, actually has cartridges, 3 to 4 active ingredients of nutraceuticals, mostly from phyto extracts, and they are in nanoparticles, which are just infused at the right quantity, so that it does not really interfere with the taste of water, or the maximum you can consume in this is coffee or tea. So either of the thing, the taste should not get affected, and that's being taken care of. Now, besides this, it also allows you, well, you find a person who's pretty active throughout the day, and you find that the VPK signals that he or she has through that bottle is similar to yours, and you probably get tempted to follow the same format that that bottle is giving to that person, because this guy is too active. All you could do is, so we use NFT technology, so typically, just touch this bottle to that bottle for 5 seconds, and the entire program gets copied to another bottle. So you and I are on the same program, so it allows you copying it. And as I said, that is just 300 ml, so it's good. It fits in anywhere. It looks like any other good aluminium bottle, and the only thing is got sensors, so it keeps reading. We have not tried to put in too much of inconvenience like doing nutrigenomics data, although it's important, but I don't know how many, at least in India, would do it, or even if you look at globally. So all we do is VPK signal is well established since the days of Ayurveda, and now the technologies have come up which allow you to read VPK signals and make interpretations that what's going in your body. Why not play around with that? And hence we have gone ahead playing with that. At the same time, yes, the pulse reading is also recorded, which is a very conventional method. So this bottle we are planning to launch in supply side West through one of our international partners, and this would be the contribution from India. It's patented already, and so this, I would not say is a disruptive innovation, but then certainly we learned a lot from the other early entrants into the market, and we looked at what consumers would want to use it. And if you think that it's going to be very expensive, trust me, it's not. It would be about 18 US dollars, or about what, 1800 rupees one time. Your recurring cost, of course, would be the cartridge. And although we're launching it for the working community right now, uh, and the focus is productivity and endurance, whereas eventually we'll get into launching cartridge for geriatric community as well as children. So they take school water bottle, they might as well take this. And we all know, because thanks to Horlicks, they have created this tagline, taller, sharper, smarter. So there are a lot of interesting ingredients available in the market, as well as from latest coming up in science. So there could be the cartridge for the children. While they have their water, school water, they actually get nutrients required for their healthy performance in their schools and so on. So this is a convergence of artificial intelligence, phytochemistry, which is in nutraceuticals, the knowledge of device. It's all working together to serve one end user, which is consumer or a patient. I was talking about the ingredient sustainability. Now this, I believe biotechnology has a lot to play in this. And for example, and then this is an ocean, so you pick up anything and you could start working. So one of the things that you might have heard a lot, so when you talk of protein, they're mostly the animal based, and those are milk or meat. Nowadays, of course, there's a craze for plant protein. So you've got soya, and then of course various lentils and grams extracts and so on. But the question is the current ecosystem across the world capable of delivering so much of protein at sustainable price? The question is no, because it's heavily dependent on natural resources, and they have their own limitation. The solution possibly now is laboratory based, and that you would be aware that there's lots of news floating around for lab meats and so on. Yes, this would be a immediate future, the biotech enabled alternate proteins. uh, and then what we are doing right now is, so if you look at water, so going back to water again, hydration is anyway the most common thing. uh, so you'll find some of the products in the market which claim that the water has protein. So they're flavored, because protein usually will have a taste. So they're flavored and protein is there. And those proteins are basically protein isolates from whey, which is milk based. What we have been trying to do is, develop cells in the lab. So these cells, through the adhesive process, can create tissues leading to meats. Instead of doing that, we have created cells, and we're dispersing into water. So of course, we're doing the stability studies, but then idea is, can I give you 8 grams of protein in a glass of water? Whereas water tastes exactly like water and looks like water because the cells are microscopic. So can we stabilize the cells and disperse into water, and you have a protein water? And as in fact the utility moves up, cost comes down, which is not the case in milk or animal, because as the utility goes up, the cost will also go up, because the cost of maintaining natural resources is always very high. So this is again in convergence. So protein wave, which is being developed by biotechnology and then applied into it. So this is how it is now. Very important thing. Now, these, I believe, it's early stage, but then you're welcome to comment on to, and I'd love to learn. But ultimately, so their devices getting into it. But then, what would that future be? Because at the end of the day, device is something you still need to either wear it or carry it along. Consumers are usually lazy, and they would want to stay away with as much as possible the extra gadgets or devices and so on. So somehow the technology has to get into you, into your body, or into, so the sky's the limit. You can keep imagining. So one of the things which is certainly happening is creating wet wares, and thanks to the development of graphene. So wet wares could be the near future innovation, where those could be the tissues pasted onto your skin, but they have the capability of doing exactly what the device is doing. And it of course makes interpretation, possibly delivers the ingredient through the patches which are put onto your body, and you don't really even bother about what you're carrying, so everything happens automatically. Or else they could be, so this is now, they could be sprinklers. That means, I'm sure you use seasoning bottles onto your food, so you sprinkle on it. So these would be the smart sprinklers. The data from your wetware will be sent to sprinklers, and while you put on your seasoning onto your food, it also delivers the active ingredients onto the food. So when you consume the food, of course, it doesn't alter the taste of the food, but when you consume the food, the ingredients moderate how an ingredient would work in the body and whatever health outcome is expected. 3D food printers, it's already happening. It will get more advanced, more consumer accessible. So there will be devices for sure, but then part of it, how the data is captured, would potentially be far more biotech driven. As I said, wetwares is something that will certainly happen for sure, and it's the in thing for sure. So these are some of the thoughts that I wanted to share, that how important is convergence, and nutraceutical industry is the largest anywhere going to take over pharmaceuticals. How can the supporting industry of biotech and medtech come forward to serve this industry? Because larger the industry, larger the business, larger the more is the opportunity to bring down the cost, and of course the utility of it. And as I said, of the major concerns in nutraceuticals, the compliance, personalization, optimization, habit influencing, all this can only be achieved through the AI and the devices, and hence, otherwise this was completely untouched territory. That's about it for now. And over to you if you have any questions. And yes, if you want to connect on Nutrify India, you have the email ID as well as, of course, the WhatsApp number. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Amit, for such an interesting session. We have few questions from the viewers, so I'll
Mhm.
read them out for you, and you can just answer them. We have 10 more minutes as
Mhm.
per our schedule. So there's the first question is, many of
Mhm.
these AI-based approaches are very invasive and intrusive, and probably expensive. While this might be fine for high performance people, how do we develop solutions that can be integrated into our normal food habits? And how do we reach those people at the bottom of the pyramid who cannot afford such solutions?
Okay. So actually, there are multiple questions. First is how do we make AI non-intrusive, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. We are sitting in an era where it's like a kid who just realized that he or she could use Lego building blocks and created a house and is very proud about it. And then someday, as people mature, oh, by the way, you can build a awesome apartment and building using bricks and so on. I think the convergence and whatever we have been talking about is at a stage where it's same like a kid who just realized that they're Lego blocks and you could just make something out of it. But to make it non-intrusive, and intrusive could mean a lot. One could be from the cost perspective. One could be from the way the data is captured into the AI. Which, for example, one of the product that I shared requires you to go and get your nutrigenomics test done. So that's pretty invasive in nature. And and the thing is that AI certainly needs data points. So I'll answer both of them. For invasive, yes, I think there's been a decent evolution on how data is captured. I just shared about, one way is, yeah, capturing very sensitive sensors. So it's all about sensor game. And if the sensors could approach, I mean, reach to a technology where they actually can sense a very deep information, we have cracked the code. And the good news is that sensors, such kind of sensors have started entering the market. So one thing is, I just talked of a bottle where you just hold and drink the water, but then while you're holding it, the sensors are so sensitive that they can read your VPK signals, which in older times the only learned sages could feel those VPK signals, but now the sensors are able to do that. So one, of course, how AI is able to capture data uh, is becoming more non-invasive and non-intrusive. Cost part, well, this is at this stage treated as novel, and I believe it will stay for next 2 to 3 years as more of a novelty, because even your Alexa, you buy it, you end up paying fairly decent amount of money. So it's a novelty that people are just chilling out of it, but then soon it will become a commodity and cost will start coming down. Addressing the bottom of the pyramid, at this stage, I do not foresee consumers at that stage so much aware that they would actually use. See, the smartphone penetration has certainly happened at the bottom of the pyramid also, but for them, and they are accessing apps to watch television serials and so on, but using any kind of app that helps them stay healthy is a subject that would take time for that community to actually catch on. But at the same time, uh, the same AI could be used by the government bodies, because they all now, there's a lot of government initiatives in the nutrition program. There's a Fit India program, there's a Poshan Abhiyan program. Now, simply distributing food or nutrition or ingredients to the community may not really help, and government at least has access to the community and is willing to make it more effective. And when I say effective, I'll give you one example I know of. 1.5 years back in the state of Andhra Pradesh, So they have rationing system, and they realized that some of the districts had very high blood pressure, or I guess diabetes. And what they did is that they created a rationing system where it was district specific rationing. So they knew that there's a lot of blood pressure, so there was taxation, heavy taxation deployed onto salts and some spices, and what was being rationed did not have a standard rationing like, okay, supply this to whole over the state. The rice, instead of white, was brown rice, and so on. So it was regionalized. That means government machinery is recognizing regionalization based on the diseases that are occurring, and they could use the devices, AIs, data capture, because all you need is data to help at least governments serve that community better. And this is not that I'm talking of government should do. I know that two states, there may be others also. So I know of two, state of Kerala and Andhra Pradesh are already doing this. Okay, they are using artificial intelligence. May not be the high end, but then good for them to, bring some sense into the kind of food or rationing that is happening to the bottom of the pyramid. So that's it for now, because it's mostly the government play at that community. But then sooner or later, because they have smartphones, they are using data, they are getting, and thanks to the television serials where all the actors, right from grandmother to the kid, looks all same young. Okay, there is an aspirational value coming in, and people are trying to find out. So they will eventually evolve, but then I believe it will take time. At this stage, I think it is the government machinery which will use AI to reach out and provide nutraceuticals that are more relevant and outcome driven.
Very interesting aspect, sir. The next question from our participants are the Union Budget 2020 and 21 disclosed that a 5% cess on custom duty for import on medical devices that will increase the import cost of devices. How will this impact the nutraceutical and the biotech industry?
See, there's a major impetus by government of India to enable India to manufacture devices, not depend on importing it. And I think, see, the technology, the capability exists in India, and there are now MedTech parks that have come across the nation, and they are encouraging devices and products, I mean, devices to be developed in India, and of course, marketed and launched in India. So it will, okay, to answer, it may temporarily give a cost load to the consumer, but on a forget longer, in a midterm, and that midterm is not is in the range of 3 to 5 years, you will find actually the cost of devices eventually coming down. And as it comes down, our dependency of imports also will come down, leading to a lot of savings for the nation on foreign exchange. So I think what country is doing is amazing, and I look forward to country not only saving money by developing the device in India, but also the products being developed in India far more smarter, because they are more from the Indian perspective, they are more cost effective and disruptive from pricing. So I am seeing next 3 to 5 years, actually this is going to be a big benefit to the country for effective, cost efficient devices. Again, coming back to what we are trying to do, develop that bottle. I forgot to tell you the pricing. So if you want to buy that live fuel in US, it would cost to a consumer about 60 US dollars, I guess. And the Go Mix Fit, which is a Swiss company, sells for 200, yeah, about 180 US dollars. And this bottle, which is being developed in India, we are trying to simply match the price of one of the premium cups at Starbucks. So it would be costing about 1800 rupees. Now, do you see what that means? Okay, so well, if this doesn't happen, those machines will anyway enter India, and they're good machines, but then at what cost? And then adding taxation to it, it will further add burden. But now, because of that, and because of infrastructure available in India, we're able to build devices to serve nutraceuticals. So it's a good news that government is taking initiative to discourage import and try to build the capability in India, and this will you'll see the results very soon in 3 to 5 years.
Great, sir. Sir, I'll take one last question, and rest of the questions we can just email it to you, so that you can answer them later because we are running out of time. So the last question is like, how will we ensure consumers to follow the discipline of taking nutraceuticals? It will again become like a taking a medicine. So how will we tackle this problem?
And that's why I said key convergence is the play. I just talked about the bottle that we're working on. So all we expect is, see, you will consume water for sure because that's natural. You will need water. You will either go to a dispensing machine or you may carry your own bottle. All we want you to do is carry this bottle and keep filling water. We are not wanting you to think, oh, should I take this nutraceutical? Should I take that? Should I be consuming at that time? That's not your problem anymore. So all we are saying is, you're anyway consuming water. All I'm saying is just take it from this bottle. Simple. This bottle is intelligent enough to decide what has to go at what time to keep you active and operating. So I'm taking away entire decision making process and the act of consuming tablet, capsule, or any of the formulation away. So this is one of that. What industry is also trying to address is actually taking the ingredients into food itself. So it's not there in India, but then if you look at international markets, you'll find for example, a very powerful anti-cancer ingredient or anti-diabetes ingredient in Japan. It is sold as a seasoning sprinkler onto your rice because Japanese have a staple diet of rice. Even South India has a staple diet of rice, and to a diabetics, it becomes kind of a big no-no. But this ingredient, instead of consuming as capsule, which again will not happen, but I know you're going to be using, so in Japan they use seasoning. So with the seasoning, the ingredients are given, uh, and while you continue to do your habit, which doesn't change, you eat food anyways and you consume the seasoning, just that you're consuming a seasoning which is empowered with those ingredients, and which in turn disrupts the absorption of glucose from rice. So 60% of the glucose from rice doesn't enter the bloodstream just because you sprinkled a seasoning which incidentally had that ingredient. So there is a chemistry-based approach. This is what I told you, is a chemistry-based approach. Then I could obviously give you, various food like yogurts. Yogurts are carriers of various ingredients internationally for diabetes, for blood pressure, even for cancer. So they have been there. So those are medical foods. Convergence of chemistry, the food technology, and the nutraceutical technology. Now you may find it's pretty cool idea. You just take an ingredient, put it into food. It's not, because let's understand, food is a complex chemistry, and you're putting one more chemistry into that food. And when multiple chemistry are sitting together, they have a potential to interact with each other, and hence the outcome of that active ingredient may get altered with so much of chemistry entering into yet another larger biochemistry, which is your human body. So there's a lot of clinical trials and chemistry standardization to get the product to actually work. So it's always looks simple, it is not simple. So that's from the chemistry side. From the convergence side, I just told you about, devices, wetwares. So approaches are happening from all over. And if you look at the similarity, whether it is the bottle, smart bottle, or the Japanese seasoning sprinkler, everyone is trying to fit into your lifestyle, not asking you to change lifestyle. Consuming tablets, capsules, change of lifestyle. That's not our lifestyle. What is our lifestyle? We get up in the morning, we might have a tea, coffee, biscuits. We'll have breakfast, lunch, evening snacks, dinner. So that's something, it's automated. We will do it irrespective, right? Now, can I bring in technologies that fit into anything of this? So yes, evening, I just want to have soup. I could have possibly soup that keeps me, if I'm a patient of anxiety, my anxiety levels stay down because it's probably is carrying active ingredients like the 12 alkaloids from the ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is something, the moment you say, oh yeah, it's Ayurvedic stuff. What is more important is the 12 alkaloids of that ashwagandha, which is found in the root and extract in the right format, given in soup. So while for you it might be a sweet corn veg or sweet corn chicken soup, but the alkaloids are keeping you cool, and it doesn't get you into hypertension or anxiety attacks and so on. So it's getting into food formats, getting into lifestyle, water, biscuits. I know in my last employment, we created Mari biscuit because Mari biscuit is one of the largest category of biscuit consumed and is assumed as a healthy biscuit. So what we created is we used ingredients to put into these biscuits. So when you consume it at 5 p.m. in the evening with your tea or coffee, your next 5 hours, you will not want to think about food. And that's very important because Indians mostly have tendency to have a large food at night, and that is the most unhealthy thing you can ever do to your body. So if you are not feeling hungry for next 5 hours, you may end up consuming a light fruit or just a soup and so on, and you're good to go, and body remains light. So those are chemistry based, food technology based conversions, as well as I just talked about medical devices, and people are thinking of what new conversions, but everyone is trying to bring in innovation, trying to fit into what human being does every day. Now before I close, I'll give you very good two examples. One of our startup, he identified that so he's got a huge market base in America. He found that Americans, they always keep chewing gums because for the fresh breath. He came up with a technology. So it's a sublingual dissolving menthol strips. All you have to do is pull out a strip, put it onto your tongue. It's menthol, cool, but it also has got phytoactive ingredients in nanoparticle, which is coated onto it. So while you're enjoying what you anyway do every day, because you would have chewing gum or strips to keep your breath healthy, it uses the opportunity to deliver the active ingredients in nanoparticles, which get absorbed right at the sublingual level from your mouth itself, and you get an outcome. Now they are doing a clinical trial for toothpaste, because you would brush your teeth every day in the morning and the evening, and you do it for 2 minutes. So in that 2 minutes, and it's a very strong interaction between device, which is your brush, the paste, and of course the entire your mouth. So that opportunity could be used for delivering highly absorbable active ingredients. So he's developing a product for diabetes, for maintaining a low sugar, controlled sugar, and a very interesting product for the night time for type 1 diabetics, because they have a risk of undergoing hypoglycemia. So this toothpaste, when you brush at the night time, ensures 6 to 8 hours of sustained glucose absorption from mouth into the body. So your the blood glucose level remains mostly safe throughout the night. You will not become hypoglycemic. So these are the conversions, so chemistry conversion, the device conversion. So but then all fitting into your lifestyle, which you anyway do.
Yeah. Uh, Thank you, Mr. Srivastava, for such an enlightening and knowledgeable session. Thank you, Mr. Narayanan Suresh and Mr. Srinivas Rao, for joining us and giving such a good information about on the background of biotechnology and nutraceutical industry. So this brings us to the end of the webinar, and from our side, wishing you all a good health from Team IC, and stay safe from coronavirus. Good day to all of you. Thank you.
Yeah.